We are ready for a walk in the woods with Representative Jamie Raskin. Tell us, where exactly are we?
You and I are standing, Jackie, on the Boundary Bridge, which connects Maryland's beautiful 8th District over on that side with the nation's capital, the District of Columbia, on that side.
You and I share a couple of things in common. One is a love of hiking. Two is a birthday, December 13th.
That's your birthday?
That is my birthday.
Were you born on Friday the 13th?
I was not.
Okay,
Were you?
So, yeah.
Well, that's either very serious bad luck or really good luck.
It's always been a good luck day for me.
But more importantly, we share a birthday with Taylor Swift.
So I understand. All the young women in my office tell me. So we always have to send out a tweet on Taylor Swift's birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
So are you a Swiftie?
No.
No.
I mean, I pretend to be a Swiftie, but the truth is I'm a Springsteen person, and I know they're very tight.
You also are friends with Steve Vanzant, right?
Stevie Vanzant, yes, I got to be friends with him. Yeah, when I had a close encounter with lymphoma, and I was doing chemo, and then I lost all my hair, and he sent me all these little Steven bandanas. Yeah.
So you are the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee.
Yes.
And obviously there are a lot of court cases going on. Any cases coming up?
So we've filed a dozen amicus briefs in different cases defending the rights of the people and the Article I powers of Congress.
Which cases are you most concerned about?
I think that there is a majority on the Supreme Court to overturn the Humphreys executive decision, which was the one that said that Congress could establish agencies and commissions on a bipartisan basis. Trump's argument, his lawyers are saying that the president has to control the entire executive branch and that he's basically a king within that sphere. That's not been the traditional understanding. That's the one that I'm most fearful of them being able to overturn. But other than that, they're losing on everything.
What happens if Trump defies the courts?
Well, this is the $64 billion question everybody asks me wherever I go.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, it's not that hypothetical anymore because they've already defied the courts. We saw that in Judge Boasberg's courtroom in the D.C. District Court. Criminal and civil contempt citations are going to be very important to coerce compliance. And I know President Trump may feel that he's somehow immune and impervious to the law because of the Supreme Court's terrible decision on presidential immunity, but it doesn't apply to other people in the administration. I know people think, well, he could pardon them. That works for criminal, but it doesn't work for civil contempt. It doesn't work for fines or liens being slapped on people's bank accounts or their private property or what have you. So the courts are not without an arsenal of powers to enforce their orders. And no president in our history has ever really given the finger to the power of the judiciary. So I think that the courts are going to hang tough.
So speaking of Harvard, I hear that might be where you met your wife.
Yes, well, in Professor Tribe's constitutional law class, I found my intellectual passion and my professional calling, and I found my wife there too.
Well, does the professor know that that's the case?
Oh, yeah, he's very well aware of it. He doesn't let me forget. And,
Can Harvard withstand the Trump administration over the course of the next few years?
Well, I think that's the test. You know, Harvard is not going to be alone. There's tons of other colleges and universities that are in the fight. There are law firms in the fight. It's got the support of a huge alumni base.
While we're talking about kings, I hear thou loveth Shakespeare. What is your favorite play?
Gee, it's like asking me what's my favorite Springsteen song. I suppose it depends on what my emotional temperature is and kind of what mood I'm in. I love Twelfth Night.
Okay. Why is that?
I think it's just a riot. It's just a hilariously funny play. And, you know, Sir Toby Belch says in Twelfth Night, "Dost thou think because thou art virtuous, there shall be no more cakes and ale?" By which he means, don't take life that seriously that you lose a sense of joy and merriment.
Do you think that the Democrats are doing enough right now that Americans feel it, that they're fighting for them?
Well, look, when you're talking about the future of democracy and freedom and civilization, really, none of us is doing enough. And I work pretty much 7 days a week at this and go as late as I can go every day, but
including interviews on a hike.
Right. I mean, but I don't feel like I'm doing enough, so I'm sure we all can be doing more. But put it this way, I do think that the Democrats now, today, are oriented towards doing the things we need to do. For example, on the House side, we have a division of labor, and as the lead Democrat in the Judiciary Committee, I'm in charge of our legal response. And so we've done a dozen amicus briefs intervening in key cases. We've brought or are bringing a couple of cases of our own. We are constantly educating the public about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we are doing everything we can to block authoritarian power grabs in House committees and subcommittees and on the floor. So, but the truth is our jobs have changed. You know, there was a period when everybody was really mad at our leadership and people were yelling, and rightfully so. Our jobs have changed. It used to be, you know, you could go to work and you push the green button or you push the red button and you send a monthly newsletter or something. That's not what it is. The people want us and need us to be organizers. And so I think that's taken a while for some people to get, you know, accustomed to. People who don't want to do that, you know, are thinking about other kinds of jobs they might want to do in politics or somewhere else.
So you have colleagues who are thinking of stepping out of the ring, as it were?
Sure. Well, a lot of colleagues have decided to go do something else, so there's nothing shameful about that.
Why weren't Democrats ready for Trump term 2? I mean, we had seen him, we knew sort of what was coming. He told us on the campaign trail what to expect.
Well,
why wasn't there
actually,
a plan in place?
Actually, he denied knowing anything about Project 2025, and he disavowed any involvement in it. But you're right that anybody who can see through the typical Donald Trump evasions and lying understood what was going to happen. I think that people were lulled into a sense of complacency by virtue of the first term, which we survived through a lot of hard work and a lot of tough struggle. But they didn't, in fact, attempt a complete authoritarian takeover of society. And that's what's going on right now. We had a revolution against a king. The framers of the Constitution were terrified of what one person would do in his own mad, obsessive pursuit of power and wealth and fame and glory. Right? Like, I like to say Donald Trump doesn't know a lot about the framers, but they knew a lot about him. Huh. And they set up a constitutional architecture to prevent people like him from destroying our whole government. So if we're co-equal, why do we have the power to impeach the president and he doesn't have the power to impeach us?
Where do you think Democrats are doing well, and where do you think Democrats still need help?
Look, I mean, I know everybody's obsessed with those questions. Like, I am not like the PR king or anything. Like, I don't use pollsters. I don't use media people. I don't spend money on TV or radio. I feel like that demeans the intelligence of people in our society. I think people are smart. And yeah, was everybody down on the Democrats at the beginning of this year? Yeah, because they didn't think we were fighting hard enough this fascism that's at our doorstep. And as we fought harder and as we mobilized and organized, people are coming back around.
Now, you're also a recent grandfather, I hear?
Yes.
Best part about being a grandpa?
Yes. Well, our granddaughter was born right after the election, which is some excellent Democratic counter-programming. And she's now my best friend. She's 6 months old. And she's extremely funny. She's got a great sense of humor. She's totally non-judgmental. She's got enormous reservoirs of compassion in her. And she's a riot in the pre-January 6th sense of the word.
I love that. So she's your best friend. So she gives you a lot of political advice, I would assume.
She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which Democrat and which Republican are you closest with in Congress?
Really, I mean, I have tons of friends on the Democratic side. It's slimmer pickings these days on the Republican side. I'm friendly with Lauren Boebert.
That is actually a surprise.
Yeah, I like Lauren, and we've hung out, and I think she's got a real soul, and obviously she sees the world in diametrically opposed ways from me on most things, but this is the magic of political democracy.
This was Cap Talk with Jackie Koppell for NewsNation and The Hill.